Good morning, my name is Karen. Welcome to my Flosstube channel. This is KBH Stitches, and this is a Flosstube about cross stitch. And I also am KBH Stitches on Instagram. I have quite a few things that I want to show you today. I'm already in a kerfuffle, so I apologize. I don't know what it is. Once I get going, I'm okay, but for right now, I'm in a bit of a kerfuffle. So today for you, I have the last of my whips, and I'm gonna show you some old finishes and then the things that I've been working on over the past 2 weeks. I'm in a different location today. I am downstairs in my living room. This used to kind of be where I kept everything. And since after COVID, I asked my husband, I said, I need a place. And so what had become his office during COVID, we've now split into two. So he still has his office on one side. I have a sewing table set up on the other side, and he built some shelves into the closet that I use, and that's where I have the little hutch that's usually behind me. So that's upstairs, that's my little sewing nook. But before then, I was kind of just around the house. So this was this little cabinet kind of was my hidey hole. So first things first, I had technically 3 finishes this little past time, but they were all pretty easy. So the first was the project I picked up for Christmas in July, Sal. Oh my gosh, and today is the last day of July, Monday the 31st. Yikes, that went fast. Anyway, I didn't have much to go, but I did get him finished. The Santa, these are all messed up. All the back stitching is messed up and nobody's gonna know. So that was my finish for Christmas in July. I do have a bunch more of those Santas that I need to stitch, but that's my actual first Prairie Schooler Santa finish. The second one, I think I had showed you this. I was working on the tomatoes and I just finished the tomato. So I got both of those tomatoes finished, and I think it's looking the way I want it to look. The stitching is definitely sparse, but with this kind of junked up fabric, it's giving me the kind of antiqued look I'm looking for. So I thought about starting another one of these, but I don't know, it just didn't speak to me. And so I went ahead and started and finished my wash day kit that I got from Hillside Rookery. So I bought the chart and I should have brought them down, the little set of silks that just cover the stitching for this project. And I did this on a 40 count something or another, I'm not sure, but I did finish it. And it's super cute. I'm super happy with it. And I will say, the silk was plentiful. Honestly, I did mine 1/1 on 40 count. I think I could possibly squeak out another one, except for maybe the color of the alphabet. I might need a little help with, but everything else was absolutely plentiful. No worries about not having enough silk there. So I'm very happy with this one. I'm hoping to turn it into a pillow soon. I never did sew that other pillow, so oh well, I'll get to it. And then finally after that, I went ahead and picked up again my ink circles. Sorry about the glare. I'm downstairs and this glass, we have a sliding glass door I can't do. It's giving me the business, so sorry. 5 o'clock, and this is just so fun. It just cruises right along with all these little motifs. So I made it halfway. Oops, sorry. Try and get it. Sorry for the wrinkles if they bug you, sorry. They don't bug me. But I got the clock all done. I got these gherkins done. I think the cherries, the lemon, the mint, and I'm over here now. And yeah, once I go kind of across this way, I'll be more than halfway done. Which again, it's just, I'm just picking them up and I just kind of stitch on them and it just gives me so much less to worry about. So those were my finishes and my whips. I got a little bit of haul this week. I showed you my animal crackers, the cat and the bunny. And I went ahead and ordered from 123 Stitch, Henrietta, because she's so sweet. I need to figure out a way that a place I can find like vintagey ribbon, or I suppose if I bought new ribbon and just like dunked it in some coffee, that would work too. But I got her and some fabric and some floss. Nothing exciting, but I'm excited to add her to my, again, I could finish the one I have, but one must be prepared. And then I got this, I do not need a project bag, but I could not resist this. This came from Katie's Posies on Etsy. She wearing a cherry dress. Look at that. Oh, hi, I'm wearing a cherry dress. I just love it. And she put this cute little, can I get that? Little fingers. This heart, it's a locket. I'm doing the wrong side, hold on. It's a real locket. Isn't that cute? Cute. So yeah, I don't need another project bag, but what can one do? Okay, so that's what I worked on over the past 2 weeks, what I bought. The next few weeks are a little rough. We go to Utah on Thursday for a pretty big surgery on my son's eye. This will be our 7th trip back and his 9th surgery. And so I'm super anxious this time. We really purposely this was the first time we pushed his appointment so that he could have a summer. And I don't know, it has caused me to be more anxious about it, that time in between. I think the times before I didn't have time to think about it. And so this one just has me nervous. Also the fact that we'll get back and he has a week before he starts high school, which is a big shift and a big change. And unfortunately with this surgery, he has to keep his head down like half the day, which he has many things that he could do in that position, but telling anybody that they have to like just do that for the last week of summer is a little brutal. So I don't really know what I'm gonna get done in the next 2 weeks. I'm not giving myself any plans. I'm gonna do what I can do. Get him to high school. That's wild. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna show you some of my previous finishes. I keep these in this cabinet back here. There's another cabinet back here. I keep them in just, I don't know what these are, boxes. And then display them kind of throughout the seasons. I have them split by seasons. Fall is by far my favorite, it has 2 buckets. But like I said, I just kind of started making pillows maybe like 6 months ago. I'm gonna need a better storage system and probably some other ideas on how to finish rather than just pillows. But this is what I have out for my kind of summer stuff right now. This was not done by me. I bought these from Michelle at Under the Woolen Willow. She makes amazing things. You're gonna see quite a few of her things, but I bought these little pillows that she made, one for each season. And it just kind of gave me the step up to be like, okay, whatever, make it work. And so I really, really love these. Next up, I have this, I believe was the first pillow that I made. This is a Plum Street Samplers Win Some Pair, I believe is what it's called. But I have a Scotty dog. His name is Fergus, and we got him in 2018. So this was the perfect little stitch to commemorate sweet Fergus and his arrival. I love this kind of vintagey stars on the back. So it's very kind of patriotic. He has a little eagle on his back. But I did it more for the dog. So it's kind of patriotic, but it's not really. I mean, it's a dog. I don't know. So I did this for Fergus. This is a design. It's called My Cat, and it's from Sub Rosa Designs. And I think the point is you're supposed to put your cat's name here in My Cat instead of My Cat. But I had a cat named Miles who looked a lot like this. He passed away 5 years ago, but he was quite the definition of my cat. He was everybody's cat, but he was my cat. He and I had a special, special bond. So when I saw this pattern, and number one, it looked like him, and then it just fit. So this is kind of my tribute to him. So I have my dog and my cat. So these two I kind of leave out all the time because they're my little family. This, I love this. This is from, nope, I'll remember it at some point. But she's a British designer, and she sells kits, full kits. And it's just an English breakfast. I lived in London for a time in college, and so you have your mushrooms and your baked beans and bacon, and I love this so much. And it came with a piece of velveteen. I don't know if it's velvet or velveteen, but oh, you can kind of see the shimmer. Anyway, that all came together. It came with even the stuffing. So it was a full kit. And I'm doing one of hers now. It's a pizza. So it's like the same layout. It has these little things. It's the same layout, and it's a pizza. So that's gonna be fun. This is the first piece I did on linen and with silk. I did this back in 2005. I had come back to stitching with my, the cat sleeping in the books. I showed you that one. And my mother-in-law's friend is a pretty prolific stitcher. And so she mailed me this piece of linen, the silk that I used it, and the whole pattern. So the pattern was for stitching this, for putting together the pillow. So it's also the linen on the back. And then I like whip stitched the whole thing. It had directions for all this. I made the tassels and attached them. That's also the silk, the whole thing. And it was after I did this, I was like, oh, Boscobel oak, no problem. I'll just jump in. But I love this. This is so like perfect. Anyway, this is a hands-on design. Oh, whale. I love a pun. And this one just got me. It's just too funny. So I finished that up with some anchors on the back. And finally, this is, you guys, I'll do better. Rebecca's house? I don't know. If you need to know, ask me down below. I'm absolutely happy to find it. I know I have the pattern. I can find it in a heartbeat, but I'm not going to find it right now. But this is on summer khaki. I loved stitching this house. It was really fun. I think this was like the second pillow I made. Had some triples. Ooh, hi Checkers, going crazy on the camera. Sorry about that. Okay, so, oh, and this is also from Under the Woolen Willow, her chenille berries. I have a pink one somewhere too. But, so anyway, those are kind of my summer and my out all the times. Okay, I'm gonna have to go faster or this is gonna take 8 years. Okay, this is my spring box. I showed you this one last time with its crazy artichokes. Under the Woolen Willow, little peep pillow. Her spring pillow. And then this is what, oh, this is a terrible fabric choice. Lessons that we learn. But this is a design by Stitchy Black Princess on Etsy. Oh shoot, it looks horrible, I'm sorry. But this is like 1/4 of the bigger design. But I loved this little bunny. You can see it better in person. And then I just did little carrots on the back. So, sorry. Yeah, my spring bucket needs some work, but it has this cute little bunny in it. I love a little bunny. All right, now we've got fall. Another Under the Woolen. If you can get one of her treasures, they are so worth it. So just keep an eye out for one of her treasures. This was a little, this was a full kit. It came with the fabric and the threads and this little, I don't know what you call that, a charm, I guess. That's Benny. Sorry. It didn't come, I did all this, but shoot. Again, I can find it. I found it for somebody and now I can't remember. It's called Little Autumn Sampler, I know that. My big, nope. I can't remember. Anyway, it's another one that I can find if I need to. Here's my little autumn pillow from Under Willow. This is another one, it's the same company. It came as a little kit. I got these when I lived in Eugene at Mindy's needlepoint shop. I don't know if that's still there. It was at 5th Street Market. It's a great shop. But so, I can't remember this one either. If I need to find it, I can find it. This is a freebie that I did years ago. Bok bok. Okay, so we have a whole thing. The cat is now under here, under this box, and the dogs over there are getting mad. So if something happens, my apologies. This is from Plum Street Samplers. It's a freebie. You can still find it. He's super cute. And I just finished him on a little hoop. I need to figure out a better way to do these. I'm sure there's a million of them. Okay, and this is my favorite finish ever. I'm gonna try and get this in here. This is Olga's stocking from Plum Street Samplers. This is platinum linen. And so this house was supposed to be white and it would have looked, I actually wish I had left it. It would have looked cool, but I changed it to red because I thought it was just getting too eaten up. But you can see down here, this is the color that the house would have been. It would have been fine. It would have, I wish I had left it, but I loved stitching this. It was so fun to stitch. And my mother-in-law finished it as an actual stocking for me. I'm sorry about the cat. Okay, Benny, can you go somewhere else, buddy? I love you, but can you please? Nope. All right, and then finally here is my winter box. So again, isn't that cute? This again, it's another one of those kits. Gosh, you guys, I'll figure it out and try and write it in the box below. I'll just say like the company that made the kits. But I love this one, this deer. And I found this nice green kind of everyday fabric for the back. So yeah, so that's all I have for winter. I have stuff upstairs to like make into, but as I said, I kind of just started making pillows to begin with, and so I have a lot of summer ones. I front loaded summer, and then I'll kind of do the same as I go along. Okay, so those are my fully finishes, like previous older things. What I thought I would show you is some of my tools. Like I said, I used to just be kind of in the living room. And then when COVID happened, you know, my son was in the dining room doing school, my husband was upstairs doing work. So it really became, the living room was like my space. So one of the things that I got, it's this mid-century modern sewing box. And I'm gonna do my best to show this to you. I don't know that I really can. But it opens up. And so, and this little tray tool moves. So I have this, whoops, sitting on the floor along with a Lowry stand and a lamp. So those are kind of I kind of sit on the corner of my couch, and that's my little kind of sewing corner. And then, like I said, COVID happened. So I was mostly down here, then I got sick, I got COVID. So I was quarantined upstairs in our bedroom. And so I have this old bag from my lovely sister-in-law, made me this bag quite a number of years ago. I was in college, I believe. But anyway, it's the perfect size. So I have all sorts of tools in here. I mean, all sorts of just fun things. I got this little bag on Etsy, and it has a tape measure, pens, you know, all sorts of things in it. So that's in here. But I thought I'd show you that this is basically what I always use for stitching every day. This is a Bitzy bob. It's a biggie Bitzy bob, so it's a little bit bigger than her normal size, right? And I just basically put this on the couch corner, okay? And my scissors stick to the magnet. I have other tools in here. And then this is a Hardwick Manor hoop. And this is the hoop I mostly use. I think it's 5 by 7. And it's a good size to kind of be able to have room to work. I did wrap the inside hoop with twill tape, which is super easy to do. It just makes it tighter, and I notice it leaves less marks. So if you're worried about leaving marks on your linens, I do recommend finding twill tape. And just, you can get twill tape from like a Joann for 50 cents a yard, or you can buy the fancy stuff that they sell with hardwood hoops, but you probably need 2 packages, and that's going to be like $20 or something. But anyway, the Hardwick hoops, this side, like the shape is kind of what dictates the cost. So I have a square one. I'll show you. The squares and the ovals are more expensive than the circulars. So you just have to decide what works best for you. So anyway, so I use that Bitzy bob and that hoop basically every day. And I just sit on the couch, and that's where I stitch. So that's kind of my stitching thing. Before I move on though, in terms of Bitzy bobs, obviously I have started, I've been traveling a lot more, and I have been at the hospital a lot more. And so during that time, Kelly created a real big Bitzy bob called the Bitzy Go. I'm pretty positive. And this thing is genius. So this I always have in my, in my backpack, kind of ready to go. It's the same thing, you'll see. You've got the open pocket, and you've got like that's my scissors. Oops, they fell, but they wouldn't fall if it was sitting. But the other part it has is there is a huge pocket back here. So I keep my pattern. I don't want to show any patterns here, but my floss is in there. I apparently left my project from last time, so I'm going to show you the back because I don't want to show you but this is my square Hardwick, and that fits right in there too. And so this is really structured very well. So this is super easy. I just have it on the plane, bloop, everything ties up. So I don't have to worry if the doctor comes out or something. I can very easily pop it away. So I love this. I love it. I love it. So that is kind of my travel tool, as it were. This is my bag of hoops. I got a bag of hoops. I love this hoop. This is a Duchess hoop. There she is. I just every once in a while I search on Etsy for these. This is a 6-inch. This is a princess. I have a 5-inch somewhere. And then I found this oval one, which I love too. This is great when you have like grass that you have to go all the way across. So those are Duchess frames. I just kind of look on Etsy for them, and I just have to decide if it's the right price for me. I also recently got a princess hoop. This was my first one. This is a 6-inch. I like the Duchess better. I feel like I'm gonna break this when I'm putting fabric in it, whereas with the Duchesses, it's totally tight when fabric's on there, but it's a little loose when you're trying to get it on. Hardwick, like I said, that kind of oval / square I use all the time. This is another square. This is 7.5 by 7.5. I think it's too big. I have trouble getting it really taut in the middle, so I don't use this one as much. This is a Hardwick. This is the 3-inch size. When my hands are tired, I like this better because I don't have to hold it as tight. It gives its own kind of structure to everything, so I don't have to hold it as much. Again, I ran out of this color, so I went to this color. But my Hardwicks, I do twill tape. These are, I know Nerges are everywhere. Those plastic ones that they're kind of rectangles. But these are also Nerges. Is that upside down? No. So this is a Nerge. This says number 4. The number is to indicate how wide it is. This is a 7-inch and I have a 5-inch. And then it's the really skinny kind. So when I'm traveling or something, I'll take one of these because it is super, super, super light. I should twill tape this one, I just haven't yet. But this is heavier than this, obviously. So, and then this is also a Hardwick. Is it a Hardwick? Yeah, this is a Hardwick. This is the 2-inch. And again, probably a bit too big to get it really tight in the middle. I've decided like 6 inches seems to be my sweet spot for what I like to have enough room that I can work, but I have to be able to hold it and not hurt my hands. So anyway, okay, so those are my hoops. This is also by Hardwick. This is a lap stand. And this, you untwist. This goes up and down, and then you can twist here, and this goes this way and this way so that you can flip it over easily. Like I said, I also have a Lowry stand. I don't use either one very often, but they're nice to have. Like if I was going in the car or something, I might use this just so I don't have to worry about picking up and putting down my stuff so often. But this is a beautiful thing. I mean, if anything, just put it on your shelf and have it be pretty. And then finally, this is a stitching tray from Not Forgotten Farm. They're beautiful colors. There's like 8 colors you can choose from. Comes with that's a magnet there. And then it comes these stretch so that you can put it on the side of your couch. And that's great. So when I have to be upstairs because something's happening down here, we have a big sectional up there and everything gets lost in it. It just like sucks things into its cushions. So this I can put on the arm and have my stuff there. I will say these, yeah, I have caught my finger in that more than once. So just be a little careful. I often think like I should put those little, I don't know what they are, the little pads for scratching things, but I worry that that would make it, I don't know. I should probably do that. Don't slam your things like that. That's bad, but you can totally control it. But I got caught with, so just trying that. So that's from Not Forgotten Farm. All right, so that's my whips and that's my tools. Sorry, I have that's my tools and my finishes. So we're gonna go into, this is my last bin of whips. And then I have some older whips that I kept in this cupboard. I'll just kind of go through them. One thing, this is a Quilting with Nico bag that wasn't upstairs. When they told us that we had to be airlifted to Utah, I sent my husband home in the hopes that he could get some luggage to us before the plane left. We didn't know though. So he ran home and I said, if you can, just grab the Nutcracker bag. Because what I knew was I have these kits from Satsuma Street in here. These are the 12 Days of Christmas, Partridge in a Pear Tree. I've already finished 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens, and then I have the Nutcracker series. And the reason I asked him to do that was because in here is, you have the fabric, you have a piece of perforated paper behind here, you have all your floss, you have a needle, you have everything you need. So I figured somebody would have a pair of needle clippers, like nail clippers, like in the hospital. So worst case scenario, I could at least get the thread cut. So I told him to grab one of those, and I am working on this one. I think it's in here. I'm working on the Santa Nutcracker. And he's, here, oh, that's not gonna work. So he's on gold perforated paper, which I will say, the gold perforated paper on the airplane, maybe not so great. It tends to blind people. So just a little hint there. So anyway, so that did not get shown in my initial whips because it was down here waiting for me to come back. Okay, so there's a few here. So the pizza whip I have, and then I have another one of hers here. And so they are, Sheena Rogers Designs. I hope you could read that. I don't know. I have 3 of these. This is the Catherine of Aragon badge. I have the Anne Boleyn, the Henry VIII, and then I have another one that's more this size that is like a big Tudor rose. So I plan to have a little Tudor section. We'll see if I ever get there. Anyway, so these again, these are full kits. 14 count Ada, all the DMC, it's DMC. She uses the DMC numbers. The backing for it, and also the filling, which I don't think she includes the filling anymore now that the prices to send things are so crazy. But I love that. Look how pretty that is. It's really nice. Okay, this is a bag from Creative Country Girl, Tammy Blaylock. I love this stuff. And Blackbird. I mean, who can go wrong with a Blackbird design? This one, I think I have to pull up a picture of. Do I? Well, this is Jane Hopkins. She's a biggie and a beaut. This is from Hands Across the Sea samplers. This is all full coverage, and I can't wait to get to that. Not there yet. This is 40 count platinum. So I'm right here in the corner, and I'm going to, the next part will be to start one of the big leaves. I'm so excited. I just want to get to that big flower, so I'm skipping all the border and all that. I am never one of those people who's going to do the whole border first. I would mess it up every time, just every time. So that's not happening. I need things to like count off of. I don't know. So that's Jane Hopkins. Again, I'm doing, this is Hands Across the Sea, all in the DMC conversion. I've never had an issue with it. I've never stitched one in silk, so I cannot compare, but I'm perfectly happy with the DMCs. I have to kind of put stuff away. It's just gonna be the only way this works. So a lot of these whips are in these, they're book sleeves from Love You More Studio. I also keep my Kindle in one, and I keep my iPad in one when I travel. But I love these food trucks. Look at that lobster truck. Love them. So this is another like buy 4 patterns, and I think I have stitched one actually. So these are, bloop, bloop, bloop. This is the one I'm working on. These are from Plum Street Samplers. This one is Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. Cute. But it's these 2 little Dachshunds. I don't know. I don't have those kinds of dogs, but again, this has a pun. So I did finish one. So the first one I finished is Turkey Sausage. Turkey sausage. And then this is what I have on Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. I am not using the called for thread. I think I used a few in here, and then I just have pulled, I kept the colors that I used for like the dogs and things, and I'm just using them again down here. So my dogs are not the called for colors, but they're all gonna be the same. Does that make sense? So I'm doing Yellow Polka Dot Bikinis. I also have spring rolls. Cute. He's wearing bunny ears. And then Starbucks. Sorry, I had to. It's very basic, but who cares? So anyway, so I am not using, I think I have a few of the called for colors, but I'm just, whatever colors I used in here, I kept. I will use them to the extent I can here, add anything I need to, go on down. Again, why stitch one project when you can stitch 4 and never get them done? You guys, I have a problem. Okay, oh, another one that I love. Take out Chinese. This was perfect because this is the pandemic sampler. This is by Sarcy Girl. I love this. I believe you can still get it. She just asked that you make a donation. But obviously it came out during the pandemic and kind of got us through a bit. Let's see. So hence the takeout food. Never eaten so much. I'd never gotten like takeout to my house before. Great. I didn't need to find that out. All right, so, and I love this. This fabric, it's lovely. It is, I know it is from XJU Designs. Come on, Karen, get it together. It's 40 count. Antracit, A-N-T-R-A-C-I-T. I don't know what that means, but it's a gorgeous piece of fabric. And it's just making these all pop crazy. And it's gonna be only like take up half of it, so I'll have that other piece. I gotta get back to this one. I have those big houses just waiting for me. Big houses. Why do we love big houses? Actually, for like my current stitching situation where I just need to like do it, I should really get some houses on the go. It's the perfect time. This. So this is a pattern. I looked at this pattern like for years before I finally bought it. It's from Ink Circles. And it's called Get Crackin'. And when my son was little and I put him in the car seat, he did not love the car seat. And so we would always say, release the Kraken when we got to where we were going. So I'm stitching this in a bit of memorandum of that. This is on a piece of Fortnite Fabrics, don't know what. It was a monthly, you know, a fabric of the month many years ago. Man, I have a lot done on that actually. I have this whole like section done. Wow. Okay, another thing I just need to get back to. This is why Magical Stitches was really good for me, because you had to find certain things to stitch to fit categories. And I usually could always find something that fit, and so all these things got touched, but I'm hoping I'll go back to it. I just, for right now, it doesn't work for me, so. This is another one. I love this fabric. And they have cute fabrics on the inside too. I have no clue. Oh, another. Why stitch one when you can stitch two? Plum Street Samplers, Autumn Fractor. I have got to finish this. Yikes. Look at you. Oh, it's so pretty. Basically, I'm just doing, you know, the opposite of this bird. And I can't remember what the date was. Oh, 1863 was the first year that Germans started immigrating to Pennsylvania, where they created their distinctive ink and watercolor art known as fractor. So I tend to be one, I either leave dates off. I only leave them on if they are actually critical to the work. So that seemed, because it was the design style. So also in this bag, I have the stuff to do Blackbird Fractor. I love that moon. So again, you can stitch two, why not? Two is better than one. This is I love this pattern. Again, give me a fabric with like a vegetable or a fruit and I'm all in. Look at these beets. I love a beet. No clue what is in here. Oh, yes. This is Birds of a Feather Fat Cat. Too many treats. Oh no. There's too many treats. This looks like a piece of vintage country mocha. Shoot. That's gonna have to kind of be in his face because I can't make it. But those are the crazy eyes. Oh man, I have not gotten very far on him yet. That one's fun. Too many treats. Little foresty animals here. Gosh, it's crazy how many of these I pick up and I'm like, I have no clue what this is. Plum Street Samplers, White Pumpkin Farm. I'm not doing this part up here. I'm just doing the barn and the horse. It reminded me of my mother-in-law's horse, Porter. I love Porter. Porter got to go after my mother-in-law passed away. He's back with his original family down near the coast in Oregon, being pretty happy. So I got all the way across the top, and now it's barn time. Back and forth, back and forth. This is a fun needle minder. This is a puzzle piece, actually. There's a place in Boulder where they make these really intricate, cool wooden puzzles, and they have like a bowl in the front of pieces that you can take, and it's a bucking bronco. I don't know what's in this. This is a little bag from Target's Dollar Spot. I don't know that anything is in this. Oh, no, I do know what this is. These are called, what are they called? This is from Wild Violet Cross Stitch. Oh, I guess they all have different names, but they're like postage stamps of Christmassy things. So this one is Rudolph. There's a Santa in a rocket ship. And another one. My Ralphie needle minder. Oh, I have to get back to that. Those are super fun. This is 18 count Black Ada. It's a little stiff. I guess I lied. Apparently I put this on more pieces than I thought I had. Okay, this is a little teeny So Much to Love bag. And this one, I have got to do this one. This one would be so easy to finish. I don't know what my problem is. But this is a Just Nan. His name is Mr. Nutley Owl. And it comes with like the little acorn hat and everything. Acorn hat. And I just need to, I mean, this is it. You just need to fill this in. Don't ask me why I haven't finished that. That's crazy. It would take a day. But probably not today. Okay. Now so that was the end of that bin. Now we're going into, these are probably my oldest whips. This is an old, I used to think, oh, I can fit all my whips in this little bag. Oops. Okay. First things first, in here I have an Owl Forest, right? Owl Forest embroidery. I was thinking it was owl forestry, but they don't practice protecting the forest. Anyway. And this is all in Russian. I don't know if you can order from them right now. They make really beautiful floss. It's all their own. It's really beautiful. Obviously things got complicated, but I ordered this all as a kit, and it is a 32 count. I don't know. It's obviously a Zweigart. It has that, but it's pretty stiff. I don't know. I'm doing it 1/2, and even though it's 32, because that's just what I like to do. It's super cute. The little foxes are adorable. But this is an oldie but a goodie. I've got to finish this too. Somebody had done this. This is Ink Circles Reflections of London. And somebody had done this on Instagram ages ago. And they had changed some stuff here. I'll show you. And I totally stole it. So I got like a variegated blue for all this, but then like the buses and the underground signs in red. I totally stole that idea from somebody. And this is stupid. This should be done, Karen. Come on. This is like a 25 count Lugana. It's super teeny. Anyway, that should be done. That's crazy. And I cannot remember who I stole that idea from. Thank you for the idea. I shouldn't have probably just stolen it though. I think I asked you for it and you were okay with it, and we went from there. This is a Carolyn Manning. This is just black and white, sorry. But it's one of her, I don't know if she calls these like quilt pieces. They always remind me of quilt pieces. I think they're more like kaleidoscope designs, but, oh, this is pathetic. There's some white in there too. Anyway. If you know, you know. Yeah, again with the tape up. I lied. I do that a lot, apparently. Okay. Some of these are just kits. All right. Oh, I like this one. I've got to get back to this one too. This is, it's a Nora Corbett, right? Nora Corbett is also Mirabilia, but these smaller ones. I don't know if that's true anymore. I feel like something happened and now she owns this name and somebody else owns this name. I don't know. They're both on there. Anyway, this is called Miss Solar Ellipse. And I'm doing this on a piece of, it's Lugana. I'm not sure the count. It's pretty though. I don't know. I mean, I remember when this came out, I was like, these wings. I mean, I just can't. But I cannot tell you the last time I worked on this either. Another goodie to get back to. Go in. Okay. I am gonna have a mess to clean up. Good intentions. I've been stitching this for years. It needs to be done. All the good intentions. It's like become its own worst enemy, this project. This, you know what part of my problem is with this? Is this, I've told you a million times, I like doing 1 over whatever. I don't like using 2 strands. This I use 2 strands on, and it's 36 count. I don't know why. It looks good. But God, it drives me crazy. Like, not only is it 2 strands, which I hate, but it's on 36 count. I don't know why I did that anyway. But I changed this to be my dog Jackson, who passed away. I put my little K here. I mean, it's really, I have this little spindle to go. I think a pair of scissors here, and then the bottom border. I mean, that really has been like 7 or 8 years. It says it all in the title, right? Oh, not really. I myself am made entirely of flaws stitched together with good intentions. That is me in a nutshell. Okay, oh, this is another Kathy Barrick. This is Dear Heart. Look at that little sweet guy. This one, another one that might be bigger than I thought. Oh, hello. Hello. Sometimes I look at a piece and I'm like, oh, it's just a sweet little thing. And then it's a big old thing. This is 40 count fabric. So it's okay. We'll get to it someday. Ink circles. A while ago, they started this with the big red Ship of Life, and Olivia B stitched that, and it was beautiful. And then they came out with maybe like a slightly smaller Ship of Life, and then a medium-sized Ship of Life. And this is the comparatively small red Ship of Life. And I think this one isn't even the smallest. I think there's another one that's a little bit smaller. And I decided, oh, I'll just do this on 46 count. Hello. I mean, it's gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. But I have so much more, so much more to go. And I am doing this with the Threadworks. I love this floss. And I'm gonna forget what it's called because like it's called something, but then it also has a number. And so the number is 1089. Look at that. My little Elizabeth. It's such a beautiful floss. And so I have another thing here. I'll show you. But Threadworks, they come in like this. So they have numbers, but they also have, like if you look at them on 1, 2, 3 Stitch, they have names associated with them. I don't know why the name isn't put onto this, but if you're looking for a beautiful variegated floss and you need more of it, this Threadworks is a very affordable option. So if you haven't tried one, do try it. They're really, really gorgeous and they stitch up just beautifully. And it's a cotton, it's not a silk. But it's on this 46 count, it's working. And I think I said this before, when 46 count kind of became all the rage, I just bought a couple pieces. And for me, using DMC or whatever, it just feels a little crowded. I'm certain that with those silks, it would be perfect, but I'm not gonna buy those. So I don't plan to do a lot more 46. Another Kathy Barrick, this is the Christmas Witch. It says, the Christmas Witch, she loved to stitch. She stitched a hat for her black rat. She stitched a cake for her black snake. Oh, for pity's sake, she stitched a mat for her black cat. I just thought that was cute. And this is one I had bought. Dinky Dyes has an Etsy store, and every once in a while they put up, it's called an oops pack. And they're just colors that are slightly off of the colors. And so this was an oops pack kind of autumn color selection. And so I'm just putting in my own colors kind of where they might go. Because again, Kathy Barrick is charted in NPI silks. And so I had this oops pack and I thought I better use it on something. And I think it's turning out perfect. So I have so many of those things that I'm like, oh, I want to buy that because it looks pretty or whatever, and then it just sits and never gets used, and that makes me sad. So, all right. Oh boy, goodness gracious. Okay, I gotta go backwards out of this bag or I'm gonna lose my spot. Okay, this is another Mirabilia. Winter in my garden. I'm doing this on a 32 count Lugana, mushroom Lugana. I actually have a lot of her done. This one, I remember picking this one. I liked it. It has just like one thing of beads in it, and they're just for the flowers, so you don't even have to bead it. It would be very easy not to. And I just wanted to try one that was a little less blingy, as it were. This is Peacock Pinwheels. This is the Lovely Arrays Vault. She had a Flosstube, and I fell in love with this piece. This is on 28 count Lugana over 1. I still have so far to go. But I remember her stitching hers, and it is so pretty. It's so pretty. So, again, it might take a million years, but it's not going anywhere. This is a kit. I bought this as a kit, yeah. Amy Minton Designs, Fibers to Die For. And it's just a little sampler, but the fun thing about her designs, I have another kit of hers that it's huge, and I've had it for easily 15 years and I've never touched it. But she names all her, these are all silks, and she names them, you know, cadaver, corpse. They're all kind of morbid. And they all have like kind of a mystery to them. But this is, I want to say 40 count. God, it's hard as a rock. But this is super teeny. And she goes through and talks about how, this is really hard to see, but, you know, some of these are traditional, some are untraditional. So it's kind of a fun historical way to look at things. She makes some really interesting designs and things. Okay, and finally from this bag, this is Long Dog Samplers. What are you called? Hair Presumptive. Way smaller than most Long Dog Samplers, but a lot of backstitch. I think, is that still called backstitch? Oh, she's pretty. I am stitching this all in it's the Gentle Arts Verdigris, I think is what it's called. So anyway, I bought a bunch of that when I bought the pattern. And this is Vintage Country Mocha 40 count. It's very fun. This is me and my son in Germany. Way back when he held his mama's hand. I don't like this high school business, I have to be honest. All right, I just have a few more bags and then we will be on our way. This is a lovely bag from Evertote. Look at those squirrels. I love those. And this is another Hands Across the Sea. Stuff's falling. Come on, Karen. This one is called Tom's Foolery. And I just remember, like, when she put it out, I was like, look at all those colors. It was the right time and the right place. I just loved, I don't have these on, but they're so fun. They're so fun. I made these cards out of these. My mom had bought me these things of stickers when I was, I don't know, like 8, and I kept them all these years, but I didn't want to break them up, so I laminated them and made them into little. You didn't need to know that. This is on another 40 count. It is 40 count from Fortnite Fabrics. So I think this is called a kidney plant, I guess. I've read that. I don't know. I need to get back to this one. This one is, the colors are so fun, but it is, whew, there are not many holes unfilled on that one. It is very dense. Very dense. Okay. This is another bag from Katie's Posies. I love it. This big panel. Little cat down there. Gingham on the back. And this has a bunch of my Prairie Schoolers in it. All Prairie Schoolers I do as charted with DMC. This is Prairie Seasons. As charted DMC 40 count platinum. So I've done winter, autumn, summer, and I'm just now starting spring. I'd love to get those finished. I already have like a little stand that I want to put those on. Oh my God, you guys, the trash around here, it's outrageous. What is this one? What are you? I don't know what that one is. So. These are the acorns. I love these. I want to finish them so bad. And because of that, there's, in this chart, there's, I'll just show it real quick, but there's like a pattern to make these tops. And because of that, they were on 32 count. So I'm stitching it on the called for fabric, but I'm doing 1/2. So I've almost completed those. And I did that just so that the acorn tops would fit without me having to fiddle with them. You could totally stitch it on something smaller and then adjust, but I guess I didn't see that. That was gonna be too much mathing for me. This one I don't have a cover photo of, but I know it's like the November. There's like a bigger one and a smaller one. I don't know where that is. So, always good to have a Prairie Schooler on the go. This is a big one. This I got from So Much Love after my Miles passed away. But it's one of her gusseted bags on the bottom. So Much More to Love or something like that. More to Love bag or something. This is from Gecko Rouge. Again, it's a European company. They only sell kits. This is Perlock Homes. I don't know. I saw this and like bought it in 5 minutes. I don't know why. I'm never gonna stitch it. Woo! Look at that progress. Maybe up there. I don't know. I had to have it. I think I told you this last time, but they use DMCs and they all come on these cards. It's a lot. But, so you just pull one little strand out. I've never finished one, but I'm assuming there's enough DMC there to get it done. You buy it like, you can choose, this is 25 count over 1. I think you can choose, oh, it's right here. So you can choose either 14 count, 18 count, 25 count, whatever. And they cut your fabric too. So if you choose 14 count, you're gonna get a piece of fabric big enough and you're gonna get enough floss to do it over 2. So, in case you're interested, there are choices there. Okay, this is a Diddly Daddle Designs bag. I don't know why I was calling them Diddly Daddly. I apologize. Wonderful bag. This, I have to finish this. I've got to finish this. Friends of the Heart, Plum Street Samplers. Look at that. It's a wonderful stitch. This is a wonderful stitch. It's on Vintage Country Mocha using all the called for flosses. Oh, look at it. I can't even see what you're saying and I don't care. Look at it. I just have this little part left. I've got to do it. And this, the deer, like I went around and around and around so he wouldn't be striped. But, and this is on my Whipco board too. I haven't done Whipco. I signed up for it and then life went awry and so I haven't done it. But this is on it and this should get done because there's just no excuses. So that's it. That's it, folks. So sorry. Here I am. This is my 4th video. You've now seen all my whips, my tools, my finishes. You should probably have a pretty good understanding of who I am as a stitcher. I don't know what will come next. If anything will come next, who knows? I don't have any plans right now. I'm just going to get through the surgery and get my son into high school and see what happens next. Save me. So if you have any questions, please ask them below. I love reading the responses. I'm happy to answer any sort of questions that you have. Even if I can't, I'll just say that I can't. To all the people who have subscribed and liked, it really does mean a lot. It's really exciting to see that people are interested in your stitching. And so I appreciate that. And so if you want to like and subscribe, go ahead and do that. I hope that you will come back and join me when I can do it again. So until then, take care. Goodbye.